What's going on, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it is a Monday, the 6th of July, 2026. And we're here to discuss the World Cup. After an incredible 4th of July weekend, we also, amongst our celebration of the greatest country in the world turning 250 years old, we also got to watch a lot of great soccer over the weekend. And the round of 16 has been so compelling. And now we're here to react to some of the best of the round of 16. We will preview the remaining round of 16 games. Then we will preview a road to the quarterfinals. This is your weekly Sunday productive conversation. And I just want to remind you, before we begin our productive conversation, to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X at ProdCavoPod, TikTok at ProdCavoPod, Facebook at Productive Conversations. And as always, don't you forget to check us out on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. So, quiet week for the Productive Conversations podcast. After this week, no tweet caps, taking a summer break. No tweet caps next week either. The tweet cap, where we discuss what's trending in sports, news, entertainment, and culture, that will return on Tuesday, July 21st. As for now, we will, as for this week, we will have our World Cup productive conversation right now. And later in the week, once LeBron James chooses where he is going to spend the next year of his career, likely where he's going to retire, we will have a reaction to LeBron going to his new team, and we will do our NBA offseason moves productive conversation this week. Whether it's the high impact trades that have happened over the past week, Giannis to Miami, Randall to Brooklyn, Jaylen Brown to the Sixers, or we talk about some of the big free agency signings. The sign and trade with Walker Kessler going to the Lakers. Mitch Robinson going to the Celtics instead of home with the Knicks. I know it's not necessarily his fault, but Andre Drummond comes in instead. So we'll discuss that. John Morant to Portland, LaMelo Ball to Minnesota. All of that and more will be discussed as soon as LeBron chooses where he's going. I think he's going to Cleveland. Originally said Miami, but now, from what's being leaked to me and discussed, it seems like he will be making a homecoming one last time. Join Donovan Mitchell and James Harden and try to make a push for the East, for the Cavaliers to make one final push so he can win his 5th title and see if he could go out on top. Not against my Knicks, though, but we will discuss that later on in this week. But once LeBron chooses his team, later on that day or night, we will have a reaction to that, and we will do our NBA off-season moves productive conversation. So that's what we have. So now let's talk soccer. Let's talk the World Cup, and let's have a good time while doing it. All right, let's start in Mexico City. This game had everything. England and Mexico with an all-time classic. England came out and looked like they're going to cruise in this match. Jude Bellingham, however, scored twice in the 6-minute span in the first half during the 36th and 38th minute. And all of a sudden, it's 2-0 England. Feels comfortable. Feels like they may even have sealed the deal already early in the first half. But Mexico answered right back before halftime could actually begin. Julian Quinos pulls one back, so it's now 2-1 at the break, and the advantage is still going to England. The minute the second half happens, though, it's right off the bat with incredible football going on. During the 54th minute, we had Jarell Quanish, England's right back, going on a challenge on Mexico's Jesus Gallardo. The referee doesn't call it live. The VAR, the replay system, steps in, pulls him over to the monitor, and he gets a red card for the play. England is now down to 10 men at the Azteca, one of the loudest, most hostile buildings in all the sports in this world, with 35 plus minutes still to survive. This is England's first red card since Wayne Rooney got one in 2006. Again, that's how rare it is. And it was really loud tonight. Some of the loudest pops I've ever heard any group of people ever given. It was loud. You literally saw the camera shake during this match. You love the passion. You literally love to see it. But you think this is a good chance for Mexico to take over. Instead, Harry Kane with a huge goal 6 minutes after the red card. They get a penalty, and Kane buries it low and buries it at the bottom corner, and it's now 3-1 England after that. Captain answering in the big moment. That's what happens with these great players. These great players always step up no matter what. They always have the nag. They never fail. That's the difference between a great player and an immoral Hall of Fame player like Harry Kane was tonight. But not over. We have the VAR once again. Kane gets a foul for his own box on a clearance. Mexico gets their own penalty, convert it, and now it's 3-2. England down a man, only up by 1 goal. 11 minutes of stoppage time to survive, and that place is going nuts. And there were many, many opportunities. And you thought that England was going to pull it off, especially at that last minute. I mean, there were some shots close by the side crossbar. Oh, sorry, by the sidebar. Shots that were taken upwards, and somehow England does survive with great with great goalkeeping, and there's Mexico with all the final opportunities they got, especially in the second half, and especially in the final minutes. They just couldn't find the net. And here's what I really want you all to sit with, though. This is exactly the kind of game that separates a good team, or I should say, separates a team that makes a deep run and one that goes home early. Anybody can win when everything goes right. But seriously, the ones that are more memorable, the ones that pull off these incredible obstacles, they're the ones that are really remembered. I mean, England was down a man, gave up 2 goals in 20 minutes of match time, and they still found a way to pull off the victory. And that matters more than the final score, if you ask me, is who wins during the biggest moments, especially against the biggest obstacles. I mean, look at Jalen Brunson and talked about how when they were down by 29 in game 4, and he admitted you can be nervous, you can be upset, but it's about what you do after and how you react. And clearly that's what England did during this match. They reacted the correct way. And even if no, they're not going to have Quanish for the next round because of the suspension. Who knows? Maybe the I don't know. Maybe the prime minister or maybe the king can do what Trump did to get the USA's best scorer back after he gets a red card. Who knows? But even though that they were shorthanded, they still pulled off a victory against a very good Mexican team and a team that had all the home field advantage in the world. But now with England getting this victory and shutting them up, what else? What now you just have to play against these better nations, but this was quite the test for England, and I think this will help them establish an even deeper run. So good stuff there from the English against the Mexicans. England wins by score of 3-2. All right, now let's talk about the other interesting match that took place on Sunday. That's Norway defeating Brazil in New York, New Jersey Stadium. Norway wins by score of 2-1. But let's say this out loud. Norway took on the 5-time World Cup champion Brazil and knocked them out in the round of 16. They haven't won a single World Cup knockout game, Norway. The Norwegians never won one. Yep. The first one they did, they beat a football powerhouse. How about that? Congrats to the Norwegians on this humongous victory. While the match was mostly scoreless throughout, Brazil actually had a golden chance in the first half. They had a penalty shot. Bruno Guimaraes steps up, and Norway's goalkeeper, the 35-year-old Orhan Neelan, gets the big save. And that save is the whole game right there. And because of Brazil, that save is the whole game right there. Because if Brazil goes up 1-0 during that, it's a completely different match. Instead, it stays 0-0. They go in the second half. Norway's coach makes a big halftime substitution, brings on Andres Schlidrup, and he changes everything. In the 79th minute, Schlidrup sets up Erling Haaland, who's become an international star during this tournament. He gets the header, a big goal, and Norway is up 1-0 after that. Then in the final minutes of regulation, they had the same combination. Schlidrup gets the assist. Haaland finishes it lower into the corner. They're up 2-0. Brazil gets one back during stoppage time. Neymar, he's the one. He gets the big penalty. He converts it. And at 34 years old, this might be the last time he ever played a World Cup game going into this. And it was. He ultimately retires after the loss, but has a big moment in the end to tap off an incredible career. Your final, Norway wins 2-1 over Brazil. Norway's first ever World Cup quarterfinal victor. Norway's heading to their first ever quarterfinal. Brazil, this is their earliest exit in the World Cup since 1990. And this is a team that has made the quarterfinals every single year from 94 on. That streak ends. And I know that they have fallen short and had some nasty losses in the last few World Cups, especially that dreadful 7-1 loss to Germany during the World Cup in their nation. A couple World Cups back, I believe that would be 2018. But it's unfortunate. But hey, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. In Norway with a big win over Brazil, that was impressive to see. And give credit to Haaland. 2 goals tonight, 7 for the tournament. He's tied with Messi and Mbappe at the top of the Golden Boot race. And this is already a special player in a special tournament. And he put his whole country on the map. And he's become a major star. Obviously, a major star in the soccer world. I've obviously, like a lot of people, have gotten to know him throughout this particular tournament. And I will be a fan of him for a long time. So great stuff there from Holland. Great stuff from Norway. Now let's talk about the remaining round of 16 matches that are going into this. So we got 4 more round of 16 games left before we know what the quarterfinal will be heading into next week. And we will be back on Sunday to preview the quarterfinal. I apologize. I got a message from my producer. So we will be back on Sunday to preview the semifinals. So the quarterfinals will happen at the end of this upcoming week and heading into the weekend. And then we will have an idea of what the semifinal matchup will be. And we look forward to breaking it down for you then. So on Sunday, we'll be back to preview the semifinals. But regarding the remaining round of 16, though, our 4 matchups, let's discuss it. Monday, we have a big Portugal versus Spain, 2 heavyweights. Spain is ranked number 2 in the world. Portugal ranked number 5 in the world. And this was actually going to be a World Cup final. That was what we predicted. They did eventually meet in the knockout stage, but it looks like we were a few rounds early on that one. But we're still going to go with Spain as our favorite to win the tournament. And I think as we saw one legend end their illustrious football career on Sunday, I think that will follow on Monday as well. Ronaldo scored his first ever knockout stage World Cup goal last round in a penalty. He will have some momentum coming into this, but I think Spain will pull this off. The neighboring countries in Europe and it will be Spain who will continue this great run that people expect them to have. And I expect Spain to be the one going over against Portugal. Also Monday. The one we are really waiting for. I expect this to be the highest rated soccer match in the United States men's national soccer team's history. A humongous round of 16 matchup. The United States is taking on Belgium. Pochettino's team is dealing with the Belgians' red card story from last round, but the FIFA wound up suspending the ban. Balogun will be back in this game, so he will be played. The USA will be at full strength, healthy, and come on, baby, we got to go Team USA. Already slight favorites with Balogun out. Now with Balogun in, I'm sure the odds bounce a little more. No, like, and let's get to the quarterfinals. Make the Elite Eight. Make the final 8 nations in the World Cup in Seattle, prime time. We're going to love it. And we're going to be tuned in for that. So that will be a big game on Monday night later this evening. Then the next day, we have Tuesday, Argentina taking on Egypt. Messi's tied for the Golden Boot, leading that with 7 goals. So keep an eye on that to see if he could pull it off. And give credit to Cape Verde for, give credit to Cape Verde, who made a big run, big equalizer. Definitely scared that Argentinian fan base in Miami with a large Argentina population. And I've seen this whole world wanted Cape Verde to pull off the upset. They fall short, and Argentina moves on, the reigning champions. But who knows what could happen with Egypt now? Clearly, this Argentinian team shows they're vulnerable, especially on defense. If you get a nice run with them, you take a lead, play some hardcore defense, no nonsense defense, not letting the Argentinians let up, and maybe we could actually see the upset. It seems that this whole world is hoping for. So that'll be the big matchup for Tuesday, Argentina and Egypt. And then we will have Switzerland taking on Colombia, the final round of 16 match. Probably the least star-studded matchup left, but both teams are ranked inside the top 20 in the world, so don't sleep on it. Large Colombian fan base where I'm at. I'm going to pick the Colombians over the Swiss in this one. So let's close it out and talk about where the bracket actually stands and talk about the road to the quarterfinals. So, as mentioned, when we're back on Sunday doing World Cup talk, it will be previewing the semifinals. We will not preview the quarterfinals this week. We will just react to the quarterfinal matchups and then preview the semifinals from there. That will be our show Sunday. So let's talk about the quarterfinal matchups that are already locked in. France versus Morocco. And that will take place on Thursday, July 9th in Boston. An actual rematch of the 2022 semifinal where France won 2-0. Now Morocco seems to be a better team, a more equipped team, especially a better team defensively. I'm going for the Moroccans on this one, that they can make a big statement to the world and knocking out the reigning champions. And the other one we know of, Norway versus England. That'll be on Saturday, the 11th in Miami. And think about the matchup for a second. Norway riding the emotional high of their biggest win in history for that nation's soccer team. They're going up against England that just survived a 35-minute down. They survived 35 minutes down a man in the loudest building in the tournament against their home team. And they won without Quanish. And they will be playing this match without Quanish due to suspension. That is quite the matchup there. He will be missed. And I think Haaland will continue to lead his team to victory. And I think Norway will be able to sneak in will sneak into the semifinals from there and be a Final Four team. My pick for Norway and this one over the English. And then the other 2 quarterfinal spots will be decided. The winner of Portugal and Spain will take on the winner of USA and Belgium. You really want USA, and if you could see USA taking on Spain or Portugal, that's going to be appointment television. That will take place in Los Angeles on Friday night as well. And heart is pumping, everybody. Heart is pumping. And then we have the winner of Argentina and Egypt taking on the winner of Switzerland and Colombia. That'll take place on July 11th in Kansas City. For that, I'd like to see a Colombia and Argentina matchup there with Argentina going out on top. So that's where we stand. The 2 quarterfinals locked. 4 teams still fighting for 2 other spots, and it's do or die from here on out. And I'm excited. I know you're excited listening or watching on YouTube. And only 2 more weeks left of this tournament already, and that'll be it. And I think in this crazy world we live in, if at least you could allow this tournament to take you away and show the good parts of humanity, some genuine competition, and seeing this beautiful game of soccer/football being played out, then you did it right. So let's now enjoy what's left of it with the remaining teams, and we'll be here for all the action. So the next time you will see us on this feed later this week, it'll be me or it'll be just me or me and Faces discussing the other NBA offseason moves that have taken place this summer. We will schedule the show once LeBron makes his decision on where he will end his career, most likely. No tweet caps this week. The tweet cap returns on Tuesday, the 21st, our podcast where we discuss what's trending in sports, news, entertainment, and culture. And we're back at it on this feed on Sunday, into Monday night, where we will preview the semifinal, where we will react to the quarterfinal matchups, preview the semifinal matchups, and enjoy what's remaining as we head closer to a Final Four. So my name is Matt Brown. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And I will see you later this week talking NBA offseason moves. And then I'll see you on Sunday to discuss what took place during the quarterfinal matchups and preview the semifinals. So with that, my name is Matt Brown. I'm the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. Thank you to the Productive Nation for always sticking with us, and we'll see you really soon. Have a great week, and God bless America after this incredible 4th of July weekend, and you're the best. See you soon.